Okay, since we have a quorum, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and you're already recording, so that's good. Do you want to do roll call, Abby?
Yes. Oops, sorry. Barker?
Here.
Barron?
Here.
Furlong?
Here.
Nelson?
Here.
Oakes?
Here.
Olson is here, and Weber? Weber is absent, and Brar is absent.
Okay. Mike had mentioned he was going to join too. Is he, do you know if he we can just.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, we can move on with this right now. So, okay, I want to make sure I'm on the right. Oh, I got the wrong agenda up. I got March 10th up.
Oh, here, let me scroll down a bit and then you'll have it on here.
Well, no, I'll call it up, so no worries.
Okay,
Because I didn't think we were going to look at financials. Okay. Approval of minutes, Community Development Authority minutes of March 10th, 2022. Everybody had a chance to review?
Yep.
I'll move approval. This is Oakes.
I'll second that, Terry.
Any discussion? Edits, changes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the March 10th minutes, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. Agenda item, request for CDA event sponsorship assistance for $4,000 National Mustard Day, National Mustard Museum on August 6, 2022.
I don't see Barry on either, and I think he had planned on presenting his request. So should we skip over it
Sure.
for now?
Hey,
Okay.
Abby,
Yes.
your link in the email went to a different meeting.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, Christopher's asking for it now too.
Okay. Let me quick send out an email.
The link
Okay.
in your agenda is correct. That's how I got here.
Okay, we'll hold on for just a minute. Everybody got so Abby can send this out.
I just sent it to Chris Weber, Abby, so you can send it to Barry.
We have the Mike and the mayor also.
Okay. I could do Mike. I probably should have his address.
Well, he'll be getting a couple of them then, okay.
I just sent it to everybody who was on my email. I apologize. I wonder if I sent the link for the 6:30 meeting I have. Sorry. So sorry.
The calendar had it on, right? So I could just join right from the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I did too.
yeah. So Abby, you did send the right link, right?
Yeah, I just sent
Oh,
it.
I see Barry's on here now. Chris is on
Yeah,
here.
I got the wrong link. So
Yeah,
Sorry,
Okay.
gang. I on the email, I think I copied the wrong link. So I apologize.
okay.
No
So
worries.
now we will go to agenda item number 1, request for CDA event sponsorship assistance for $4,000 National Mustard Day, National Mustard Museum, August 6, 2022. Okay, we got a request from Barry. Barry, do you want to speak to this before we?
yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, no trouble. Anyway, we are going ahead with the real Mustard Day. The last 2 years have been problematic. 2 years ago, it was just virtual because of COVID. Last year, there were still fears of COVID and there was some rain, but we still had several thousand people. And we are going ahead. Not only that, we're also doing the virtual International Mustard Day. So, I mean, we have had people from as far away as India join us. And our goal really, this is not a fundraiser event for us by any means. This is a way of giving back to the community. It's a way to do, again, what we've been doing for 12 years. And that is a great festival for everybody. We get press about it in Chicago, in Milwaukee, and our goal is to bring people here so that they can not only stay in Middleton, eat in Middleton, shop in Middleton, and of course have a good time at the what has now become a tradition for Middleton. So what it cost us last year, we figure over $12,000. We've in the past asked for about for matching funds to about half. We're only asking for 4,000, which is not even a third of what it costs. But I think this is something that is so important for Middleton. I think I mentioned that we were just on with Samantha Brown. I don't know if people know Samantha Brown. She's been, she's really a very famous and well-loved travel blogger and travel host. She now has a show on PBS, and she decided to come to Middleton as part of her show about things to do in Madison, but she decided that this was too much fun, and we had a great time with her and her entire crew. So that will be airing sometime in early 2023 because it's quite the show. So you know, this is just part of what we do. Of course, you know, the event will have live music, hot dogs, of course, and other food, games, other entertainment. We already booked, I think it's called something about children. We've had a great children's entertainer here for many years, and he's coming back. So we're just asking for up to not even a third of what it costs us to put on. So if you've got any questions, please ask. I'd be glad to answer them.
Thanks, Brian. Abby, do you want to pull up our budget for events? And we have some items, I think, earmarked already. And then we can open it up for discussion with the committee members.
Here I am. How about that? I just appeared. Wow.
Yes,
And as you can see, I'm here in the museum. Is where
yes, you are.
I
Yes, you
always
are.
am.
Abby, have you been able to, we're not seeing it if you have pulled it up.
Sorry, I am having trouble finding it, and I just was looking at it earlier.
Well, I think we know that our events budget is 7,500. And I had our
Here it
previous,
is.
yeah.
Come on, open up. Yeah, so we have 7,500, and the plan was that the three bigger events, National Mustard Day, the holiday tree lighting, and the art walk would each get 2,000. I did let Barry know that was kind of where your thoughts were on that. I'm sorry, I'm still having trouble pulling it up.
Did we have some allocated for Sterling Jazz also?
Yes, we did. Actually, I think Strolin was getting 2,000. sorry, hold on one second. I think I have too many things open on my computer because it's not letting me, I see the document summary of CDA assistance, but it's giving me trouble opening it.
That's okay. I think if you can just tell us, we had earmarked a certain amount.
So
For-
I can see it, but if I let go of this tab, it's going away. So I can just read it to you.
Okay,
The 2022 budget proposal that I had given was Art Walk Middleton was receiving 2,000, and that has already been approved. National Mustard Day 2,000, Strollin Middleton 2,000, and then we had 1,000 for fall fun and 500 for the holiday tree lighting, with the understanding that Strollin Middleton and fall fun, as well as the holiday tree lighting, could all also be partially funded using the Madison Community Foundation grant that we received for Stonehorse Green programming.
that's right.
So that's the full 7,500.
Okay. Does anyone want to weigh in on this? Kari?
I actually, I had a further question, and it's probably obvious, but can somebody remind me about the rationale behind our reduction from 10,500 allocated for 2021 down to 7,500 for 2022 for events?
It was because we funded the event and marketing coordinator position. So we thought, so
Right.
we wanted to balance the budget, but we also thought that that person could help out a lot with some of the other events,
And
like
so
as
we
an in-kind contribution.
like in kind. Okay, thank you.
Kieran?
Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, and Barry, thanks very much. I appreciated in your letter that you spelled out all of the various expense expectations and had a full estimated budget in there. So that's really very helpful for us. But I think, look, in light of our budget, and you know, it's there, it's public. We've got the other events to support as well. So I think at this evening's meeting, if we're going to make a proposal, I think it would have to be the number that's in the budget that Abby just quoted.
If I could just add one more thing, in terms of things that we need, in addition to money that pays for a lot of stuff, we can also use some volunteers, because we usually try to get about 80 people to help volunteer to put on the event, and we could use some good labor running some of the games, you know, helping out, and really running the games is a lot of fun, and we do need help for that. So this is apart from anything that in terms of the money, but if anyone would like to volunteer to help out on Mustard Day, and again, it's August 6th, it's always the first Saturday in August, and people are already asking about it from all over. So if there's anyone who would like to volunteer to be on hand or to serve on a committee, please email me or call me.
Abby, will we probably have our events marketing person on board by August 6th? If we can't make any promises, but would there be anything that they could do to assist with this?
I would certainly hope we have somebody by then. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that we have someone in time for the art walk, because that's been a lot of work to organize. But I checked in on it yesterday, and our HR person said that there are 6 other postings ahead of it. So hopefully he thought he would get to it by the end of next week. So fingers crossed. And then as far as how that person could help, I would think that that person could certainly be there at the event that day. They could also help with marketing, like you mentioned. I know tourism has also helped out with marketing quite a bit for Mustard Day as well.
Okay. Kari?
Yep, thanks. That was part of my question is, do we think that person would be up and running? And like, this isn't the only event where volunteer coordination and help would be useful. And I don't know if that was really written into the position description, but depending on that person's capacity and connection to the community, I would think that they could really help. And even if all they do is they're effective at pushing out a call for volunteers on social media, like, that's worth a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is worth quite a bit. Carrie, I have a question for you.
Sure.
What's the name of your kitty cat?
It's Diana, named for the goddess of the hunt, because she's good at getting mice in our very old.
My kitty cat is absolutely terrible at that.
She's like scary good.
Okay. Any further discussion or a motion?
If there's no further discussion, I'll make a motion to allocate the $2,000 that are budgeted here for the National Mustard Day, but also to allow for some, help in kind if we have our event coordinator in place in time as well.
I'd second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allocate $2,000 for event sponsorship and offer some in-kind donations through our marketing position. Any other discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries $2,000.
Great. Thank you all very much. And we look forward to everyone coming to Mustard Day.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Number 2, update on Make Music Middleton and recommendations to allocate $325 for Middleton website listing.
All right, before we go into this, I guess I'll ask Andrea, would you prefer to give the overview, Andrea? Because you're the one that's kind of done all the work on this.
Sure, I can take a stab at that. There's a group of us interested in bringing the Make Music Festival Day to Middleton. For those of you not aware, Make Music is a global day of music celebrating the summer solstice on June 21st. It started in Paris back in 1982 and has since grown to over 1,000 cities in 120 different countries. It's Make Music Madison has been in existence, I think, since 2013. And then over the past 2 years, here in our part of Wisconsin, has expanded to Fitchburg, Sun Prairie, and Wanakee. I think Wanakee's done it twice, and maybe Sun Prairie and Fitchburg are just rolling theirs out. I'm not sure if I have that exactly right, but we would be the 5th chapter in our part of Wisconsin. I think in total in Wisconsin, there might be 17 chapters. So it's we're a pretty active state for this event. So what we wanted to try and do this year is bring it in a small scale just to test it out, get a feel for the resources required and involved, et cetera. And so we were thinking downtown Middleton could be a good pilot where we would identify a handful of venues. And really the day is about celebrating music. In any form, whether you're an amateur, professional, young, old, single performer, or a full piece band, you play an instrument or you sing. It's just meant to celebrate the gamut of music and really encourage people who don't typically think of themselves as musicians to really just get out and celebrate and have fun on the longest day of the year, on the summer solstice. So I spent some time talking with the national organizers just to see what would it entail to bring it to Middleton. First, of course, as you can imagine, they're very excited to have another chapter added into the fold. But what they provide is a website, so it can be a relatively turnkey thing as a chapter. They provide a website where venues within Middleton or downtown Middleton would register as a venue. And then musicians or people who want to have a musical act register as a musician. And then the website plays this matching function. So that's part of what you get for this $325 fee. There's also a calendar function. So once all these matches are made, they calendarize it, they show the locations, they publish the calendar. They give all the marketing templates, press releases, graphics, social media posts, etc. So we can push all of this out. There are national press releases. Middleton would get a mention as a new chapter this year coming in on a national basis. And because Wisconsin is such a strong state for chapters, there's a WPR sponsorship that's included where the chapters and venues get mentioned. Arts Wisconsin provides resources to help coach and guide and support. If any of you are familiar with Ann Katz, I've been in touch with her, and she's very excited and eager to help us get this going. This is a free event for people to attend. It's also, it's not necessarily paid for all the musicians to attend. So this really is meant to be grassroots, people just out having fun. And events could be anything from a group of kids learning how to play harmonica. And by the way, part of that $325 gets access to the national chapter has partnerships with different music companies. So they do give away some musical instruments. They have free songbooks they can provide. They've got lots of really cool, interesting marketing support that they can provide that we could make requests for. But I mean, they've shared with me lots of really fun ideas. We're just getting the community involved. Now, that's not to say that if you wanted to hire a band, so if one of the venues wanted to hire, professional bands to come in for the day, that bands wouldn't be paid. But that wouldn't necessarily be part of this initial pilot, I don't think, because we don't necessarily have a full robust budget put together beyond right now just getting approval for this $325 to get the matchmaking started, et cetera. So what they really encouraged us to do is start small, give it a chance, feel it out, see how it goes, and then let it grow over time. In Madison, this has grown to an actual 501c3 organization who plans this thing with their own independent board of directors, a paid executive director. I mean, it's a big deal in Madison for those of you who are familiar. And the idea here is just to give it a try, dip our toe, and hopefully get some good grassroots community support.
Okay.
So that's what I know about it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so
This is-
Andrea also worked with me and our tourism department to put together some ideas for locations, just trying to pilot it right here in the downtown. And we were thinking, maybe we would want to bring back the gentleman who played at the Stonehorse Green and did the harmonica lessons, Katie's partner.
Yeah.
And maybe we could get some funding to give away the harmonicas to the kids and do that again. And maybe we would want to get the senior center. The senior center actually has a band that practices there. I mean, made up of the senior participants, and maybe they could be one of the acts. So, and it could be something as simple as somebody who just wants to play music on their front porch. So, I mean, it can be really like grassroots and low key. And we just thought for $325, like, let's give it a try and see how we can get it going right here in downtown. And then we'll know, whether we want to put more resources into it going forward.
Yeah. Also, the
And-
easier you keep it in terms of, not amplified music, no stages required. Just finding, the 6 or 7 locations we came up with are really more public space than necessarily attached to a business per se. That's not to say that if we're a chapter and a business wants to sign up as a venue and take this as far as they want to take it, then it's on those locations to have event insurance, provide funding for musicians, et cetera. But on a low key, a handful of locations around downtown Middleton, we thought this could be a fun way to try it.
Thank you. Deanne, did you have a comment?
I do. Thank you. Let me lower my hand here. A few items, if I could.
Mhm.
I think this is really neat at work. We've got some younger folks from Madison, and they've talked about it in the past. And it engages them, but it also, I think some of the neat things is as far as I can tell, it's not really for profit. It's more just a lot of amateurs coming out and just playing music. And sometimes it's an eighth grader with a violin in somebody's driveway, but it's real neat. I think it could be something that a lot of people could get behind. When we engaged people about Stonehorse Green last summer, it was nuts. All the local Middletonians that came out and like, I'm in town. I'd love to do this or do that. So I think it's there. I'm happy to hear other things. My motion is going to be that we do this and we look into other opportunities to help out, but we borrow a bit from our summer fund. Thank you.
Katie, you're next.
Thanks. Eric has played Make Music Madison for a few years now. And he's playing at like 3 different places this year. So it's not like a huge time commitment for each of the bands. I've also seen on Make Music Madison, like a duet playing on Monroe Street, just like on a corner. So it's not like you have to commit a huge venue. And it's kind of fun to just see someone with a little amp and a guitar just on a corner. It's really kind of a fun thing. So Eric's booked this year, but plan on him for next year, especially if he loved playing at Stonehorse last year and would love to do it again. I have to head out to a bike ped meeting. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But I support whatever you guys want to do with Make Music Middleton.
Okay. Abby, we'll still have a quorum if Katie leaves, right?
Yes,
We
we
should.
should be good.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you
And
guys.
Abby, when's your next meeting? Abby, you have one at 6:30?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Just want to stay on top of that. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Kieran?
Yeah, I love this idea. I think it sounds great. And it reminded me of when during COVID, when we had that thing on our street anyway, Kathy, when we had everyone kind of come out their front door and just, say, wave to everyone and clap for healthcare workers. And one of our neighbors brought his trumpet out and started playing, and it was awesome.
Right.
So, yeah.
Doug did, yeah.
So I think this is a great idea. I like this kind of guerrilla art type approach and citizen involvement. Those are, anything we can get more people involved. I think that's fantastic. So I'm supportive of this. I think it's cost effective. So I guess you get the website function, you get the calendar function, and then DMBA, and I see Julie's on here as well. I presume the events page and Tourism Middleton and so on would be able to push this out as well. So yeah, it's kind of, I think we get a lot of bang for our buck, and I just like that it's citizen engagement most of all. So I'm ready to make a motion, but there's others who wanted to talk about it. So I'll let Kari.
Dan has made a motion, and would you like to second that?
I'll second the motion, but Kari, I know, has something to say.
Okay.
Before we
Yeah,
I was just going to offer to make the motion that I hadn't picked up that Dan had. So yes.
Dan, you did make that motion, right? That's what I had heard, that you made the motion and then to borrow money from the summer fund budget.
Yes, for the $300 plus amount, and then if we have a little bit, we can help out as needed to make sure it's successful. That's mine. Thank you.
I would add one writer, and I'm not sure if Barry is still on. We should have put this in as well, but for the funding, I think it's standard, but let's make sure we say it in all the motions. That anything that we sponsor on, we just want to make sure that the Community Development Authority is listed as a sponsor of the event on any of the materials, wherever you're talking about your sponsors. So
thank you, Karen. Well taken. Thank you, sir.
All right. Great.
Any additional comments? Andrea, did they say how late this goes? Does it go like to 9? I mean, it's.
Well, I think the official hours are 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. You don't have to do that long. It ends at 9 p.m. though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 9 p.m. at the latest. So one of the suggestions was to work closely with our city partners to see if there's anything that can be done to make sure for licensing, if we're not amplifying, all those kinds of things that we, will get smooth sailing or clearance to move forward with this
Mhm.
in these different sites.
And we also still have our spreadsheet from last year's summer fun that had, after we started going, then people were contacting and asking about
Mm.
performing. So we
Yeah.
have all those kind of contacts yet too.
It's
Yeah.
grown a lot even since last summer because people kept contacting me and asking about playing at the green. So I was just adding them on.
Yeah. So one really cool thing about the website is once we register the venues, we can push a link out to this website to that full contact list. And then they can say, they're interested, they'd be available from 4 to 5. And they might be interested in whatever their act is. So that gives us it helps you figure out how to kind of slot in across the venues to have this robust calendar across whatever time frame of the day we'd end up doing.
Dan?
Thanks. Sorry, just real quick. I just thought of it a couple times, and you guys might have thought of it already. But that park right in front of the bank there would be a great spot. I don't know if that would be something our group could help out with, but I think it's perfect. Thanks.
Yeah.
We're talking about the BMO Harris area, right? The plaza area.
Exactly. Yep. Where they do the jazz stuff there too.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'd
we
be
had
neat.
identified the BMO Harris Terrace area, the Valencia lawn, the lawn
Right,
next to
yep.
City Hall, maybe the porch at the Rowley House for the right,
For sure.
some
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
act. So I think there were 5 or 6 locations. I have a message out to Capitol Brewery to see if they would be interested. So, across, we can kind of hit varying corners to cover all of downtown Middleton, but not have them be so close that they'd be too close for the musical sounds to be maybe the Middleton Center Terrace and Stonehorse Green isn't available. They're open
Sure.
to that.
I can't remember, Andrea. Is the expectation no one's amplified, or do they
Not
allow some?
necessarily. Not necessarily. I that's where I don't know enough about the licensing requirements
Right.
or permitting requirements, but it wouldn't have to be. That helps the amateurs and the neighbors just say, oh, I can go out and play my violin for half an hour. I don't need an amplification. But if a full-on band wants to come out and be amplified, maybe Capitol Brewery is the better stage for that.
Okay. I didn't know, Kathy, if that would be something, if we'd want to consider some kind of blanket exception for that day, or if that's a bigger ball of wax than we want to deal with. Thanks.
I think the idea is to keep these groups, like with special event, you'd be under 200, and each one of these individual performances would probably be under that. And keeping the amplification so that it's not interfering with each other. Belinda, Chris, do you have anything you'd like to add at all?
I think it's an amazing idea. I know that we had talked about it last year. I think Karen brought it up to do some sort of a musical festival. So I think this really dovetails into that idea and can hopefully move on to bigger festivals beyond this,
Right.
but yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And-
agree with that. Supporter of the arts, and I think this is going to lead to bigger and better things. And the more people see it, the more they're going to support it.
Right.
And with
Yes.
any luck, by June 21st, it won't be 27 degrees anymore.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a Tuesday of all days, so it's kind of but you can't pick when the 21st falls. So I guess
That's right. It changes
Okay.
every year.
Yes, it does. Okay, so any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of Dan's motion to give $325 for the Make Music Middleton, and we will take that out of our summer fund budget. And all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing all this, Andrea. It'll be great, I know.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Great.
Number
Thank you.
3. Number 3, discussion of music at the TAP Fall Fun at the Stone Horse Green.
Yeah, so I just put this on the agenda because I know it's come up as potential interest a couple times, and I don't think we have to make any decisions right now. But I just wanted to make sure that it's still something everyone's thinking about. I'll slide it in under this agenda item because it's related to music at the Stone Horse Green. We met with Strollen folks earlier today, and for the Stone Horse Green opening event, which is going to be September 9th and 10th, we are going to market that as the grand opening of the Stone Horse Green, featuring Strollen Middleton, and also an art and lit laboratory festival of some type. They are planning more than just jazz music. They want to have, on that Saturday, they want to have potentially like some poetry readings and visual arts displayed. They might have an artist teaching a class that day. They've got a whole bunch of really cool ideas that are, I think, really well aligned with the grant that we got. The grant from the Madison Community Foundation is going to provide seed funding for a year of events, including the grand opening event. And they want to make sure that the events that we're promoting are diverse, multicultural, multi-generational. And I think Art and Lit Lab has a lot of really cool artists, including one of the ideas that they threw out is that they could have an Indigenous artist teaching people about how to make bead making, like a workshop or something. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. Like, I think a lot of people would like to attend that. So the cool thing about working with them is that they're kind of willing to organize the whole weekend of activities for us. They are willing to go out and seek sponsorships for part of it, part of the cost. I told them about the $2,000 potentially from the CDA, so they know about that. And then the part of the weekend that would be related to like honoring the donors and thanking everyone who's been involved in the Stone Horse Green would be our part of the event to organize. But the rest of the weekend, they're kind of willing to take the lead on, which I personally think would be great. Although we do have, you know, a part-time person coming on board that can help out with that as well. So that's it.
A question for you, Abby. This is Strollen Jazz, and these art exhibits and demonstrations, they would be taking place around the Stone Horse Green, but Strollen, is that still going to be throughout the downtown, or how do you see that?
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, they still want to have it at multiple locations. They said in order for it to be Strollen, it really needs to be at several locations. They would be bringing in a headliner from Chicago that's a larger name musician, and Julie Peterman from tourism mentioned that tourism might even be able to help out with helping to support that if it potentially could lead to overnight stays. But then, yeah, the visual arts stuff would happen around the green. We'd probably want to close the street for that opening weekend because we're going to have a lot going on in the downtown area.
Good. Dan?
Thank you. So is this item an either or? Either we do the big Stone Horse Green Big Bang, or we do the TAP events this summer, or is that something different?
No, I think we could do both. We could do both. I haven't organized anything yet for the TAP. I was kind of keeping it on the agenda in case that's something that you all want to pursue.
I do, personally. And forgive me, you've said it a few times already, but when would that person be starting?
Well, I was just mentioning that I would hope that we would have somebody in time for the art walk, because
Right.
that's May 14th, and that has been pretty heavy lift from a staff
Right.
standpoint.
Right.
But I don't know, because we only have one human resources person, and he's got 6 other positions to post ahead of ours.
Understood.
He
I'm
said
sorry.
by the
Yes.
end of next week.
Exactly fair. And then to do the tap things, would that require a street closure? More than likely, yes, I'd think.
Yeah, I think if you want to have the music under the tap, yeah, you would probably need to close the street to give people space to enjoy the music.
I'm still trying to get my head around this with the music under the tap. When inside the brewery, you have a stage where people would like to perform, and then they have the tables in there and they have the beverages in there. Could we do like food trucks or something under the tap? And I talked to Kevin, I had a different issue I needed to talk to him about, and he was saying that, you know, they could close like their parking lot if we wanted to engage, have a place for the kids to do their chalk arts and the different things that they could close that part of it without closing the street. And he wouldn't be, I don't think, it didn't sound like he'd be opposed to doing it on a bike night, which would be Tuesday, Thursdays, and if we're still looking for Thursday nights. I just don't having music under the tap when you don't have the stage or the seating. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Kathy. And I think that's a great point. And I'd meant to reach out to him, but I hadn't yet. My only caution is, would there be a perception that we're favoring Capital Brewery and promoting them by doing those things?
Do you mean if we hired the band and had them play at Capital Brewery?
Right. Yeah. And I guess them being right next to each other, they kind of go hand in hand. How do you do one without the other? But yeah, would it be more? I don't know. I don't know how to say it differently.
Do you think it looked like we weren't favoring Capital Brewery last year when we had it at the Stonehorse Green?
No, and I think about the Mustard Museum, and we're helping them.
Yes.
It's another downtown business. But would Long Table be like, well, why aren't you having it right out? Well, I guess we will, Stonehorse Green. Okay.
It just seems funny to think about the band, but
what if we continue discussions with Capital Brewery and see if we can partner with them to make it more available? I know there was some discussion about food carts and that type of thing, and it didn't go well. Is that accurate, or?
I don't know, Abby.
Well, the only location where food carts can operate without going through the permitting process and the annual fee of, I think, 500 plus 100 per licensed vendor, the only place that can happen is at the tap. So if they go and operate at the tap, they are not subject to all those requirements. And we are having 4 food carts at the Art Walk. So we were able to get that approved. They have to still be licensed by Dane County Public Health, just like any other food cart, but they don't have to pay the city's fee and go through the city's process if they're under the tap.
Thank you, Evie. May I flip this just a bit? Since we can't do Stonehorse Green, what else can we do this summer for the community?
We could do the Commons.
Yeah, and we moved all the picnic tables down there, so there's plenty of seating.
Do we have electricity there?
From the land.
Can we run an extension out of Abby's office, maybe? Just unplug her computer and plug in the cord?
We could. I
There's
think we've done that.
electricity on the lampposts. Actually, Steve just looked at that for the ice cream social, so he knows.
All right.
Good. Mhm.
Is that the better solution? Direction?
Are you still thinking of doing like kids programming? We'd have to.
Just kind of what we did for summer fun, but just there. Yeah, maybe you're headed towards closing off the street.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah. And then would we be impacting Hubbard Diner and them as well?
And the library and the.
We're running short on time. Can we table this for next time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just one comment on that last one, Dan. The other thing is to close off the parking lot between the senior center and City Hall for the Commons.
I like that. Yeah.
And that way, that you could have the chalk art and the kids running around and stuff there. Although I'm a big fan of closing any streets we can, just to show people how nice it is when we reclaim them from the automobile every now and again. But yeah, you've got Hubbard and the library and the parking lot there. You know, you can't drive across the railway tracks. Although there is the parking lot over on Terrace that would serve for library and Hubbard as well. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out shutting down a portion of Hubbard from, you know, Middleton Street to Parmenter. But I think at a minimum, we could just look at taking over the parking lot, and that would provide ample space and, you know, place for kids to play and families to put up their camp chairs and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Okay.
Would
was
this
just
be in addition to Fall Fun? So it would start in the summer and then go through the fall, when Fall Fun can move to Stonehorse Green?
I believe so. I think we're trying to do something to make sure that the people are still engaged with the downtown,
Mhm.
even while Stonehorse Green is being constructed. Dan, is that how you understand it too?
Exactly. Yep. Just to keep the community spirit going. Yep.
Very good. Okay, any other discussion? Anybody have any comments they want to add to that?
We
If
are
not,
working on other community engagement, bringing a story walk out this summer. DMBA in conjunction with the library. So, and it'll be a construction themed, kind of leaning into it. Just come down and have fun with us, even though there's construction going on. And then we're playing around with a few other ideas for the DMBA to help get people downtown as well for events.
You have a long list of events that you're planning for. It's impressive. So,
and
very
it's
much
not
so.
just the thing about it's not just the DMBA. What we did, we did listening sessions with 24 businesses and other affiliate partners, and there is a long list of events just in general, between the ice cream social, the CDA stuff, the mustard day. I mean, across the entire year, there is a lot of stuff going on in downtown Middleton.
Yeah, I agree. Great job, Andrea. And there's a lot of folks in your building there that are looking for these opportunities. Yep.
Yeah.
Kari?
Thank you. Just real quick, is there like a unified downtown events calendar anywhere that could be put together or promoted, or, you know?
Andrea put one together for the
working on
DMBA meeting that was earlier this week.
Available anywhere?
Well, we're still trying to finalize a couple of things to get. Right now, things are placeholders. We're trying to get dates on calendars, but the idea that we came up with is to create a postcard that could be in the shops, handed out at the art walk, with a QR code that would direct people. The downtownmiddleton.com website, that is the DMBA kind of has ownership of that, but it's meant to support more than just DMBA. It's about the whole community.
Yeah.
And then Visit Middleton's website also has a section on downtown Middleton for things to do. So we try and work together with them to keep these things coordinated. But we're looking at using QR codes to direct people to the website. So as we continue to populate all these ideas and events, they'll be housed in a
that could be
one
great.
place. Yeah, and then the Downtown Middleton Facebook page also, we're trying to load these into the Facebook page in the event section.
I mean, I think people are planning things for the summer already, and some of my friends have been asking, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And I will plan camping trips around these events if I know they're going to happen, and I think other people would too. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn, Kathy.
Do I have a second?
This is Belinda. I'll second.
Thank you, Belinda. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, everyone.
Nice to see everybody.
Bye.